What's up? It's round 2 on a Thursday, August 10th. Midweek must-see matches for another wild week in wrestling. Oh my, lots to talk about on this edition where we're going to be covering all the must-see matches from August 3rd all the way up to last night on August 9th. Wow, oh wow, where to start? Let's kick it off on Thursday, the 3rd of August. One match of note on the usual Thursday Night Wars between Impact and Ring of Honor, which I want to give everybody a heads up, that is coming back tomorrow, finally, after a 3 or 4 week hiatus. Versus returns tomorrow, where we look back on tonight's episodes of Impact and Ring of Honor. We break them down head to head. Last Thursday, there was only one match from both shows that was really you got to check out, and that was the Rascals over Speedball Mike Bailey and Jonathan Gresham on Impact. This was from the first week tapings in Chicago that I was just at not too long ago, and this match did well for sure. Let's get into the 4th of August. That was Friday night last week. A lot of stuff to talk about here as well. We got 3 matches to note from Friday. First from SmackDown, LA Knight and Sheamus. I liked it a lot. Also, Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa. Frankly, I was surprised they were putting this match right leading into SummerSlam. It kind of makes sense on one note. Gave Jey Uso that added shine going in to that main event with Roman, but I thought this was a match they frankly would have maybe saved for a pay-per-view, but they did it on SmackDown right there as the main event, and it was very good. Oh, once again, Saturday of excessive wrestling on the 5th of August. First, let's start talking about New Japan's G-1 Climax. In this past week, all of the A, B, C, and D block finals occurred with some matches that certainly really stood out. There was a couple on Saturday as part of the A block final that I think were really worth a look. That was Ren Narita and Kaito Kiyomiya. Very, very excellent match. It almost went to time limit. As well as did Shota Umino and Hikuleo, which I did not expect this match to be as good as it was, but it was very, very good. Hikuleo with the upset on this one as he advanced into the 8-man tournament that just actually happened last night, which we won't actually talk about here on this list. That'll be next week. We'll get into some of the final stuff of the G1. We'll probably have a special rant on it next week as well. Then what about SummerSlam? We just talked about it in the top 10 takes. I think these matches were really, truly must-see. There was 4 that I have listed, 48, as a matter of fact. Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, Ricochet, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and I still think another one worth checking out, Gunther and Drew McIntyre, all from SummerSlam on last Saturday. But we're not done with Saturday yet on the 5th. Don't forget about Collision. There was a couple matches on there as well that were really, really good. The tag titles were on the line as FTR defeated Big Bill and Brian Cage. And probably the best match I've seen Big Bill have, period. And then we had the main event, Ricky Starks and CM Punk for the Real World Championship with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat as ref. Yes, 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 yes. I loved this match. This was very good, for sure. One thing I got to note on a total side note, but last week on Must-See Matches, I failed to mention all of the good matches from the Great American Bash from NXT. There was definitely the top of that card. You got to check out if you didn't. Let's roll to the 6th of August. This was last Sunday. One match of note. This is once again from the G1 Climax in Japan. B-Block Finals. One of the matches that really stood out. Will Ospreay, El Phantasmo. Excellent, excellent match. These two guys gelled really well. Then we move on to Monday, the 7th of August, and Raw was in Minneapolis. I know I promised exclusive content for y'all from that show. I talked about it in the SummerSlam rant, but I did not make it to Raw in Minneapolis. I could not find a decent ticket for the life of me. This was so much demand for this show. I was blown away by it. So ended up watching it at home, and every single time a great match hit, where it was 3 times on this show, I was kicking myself. Let's talk about the 3 matches in all. The 4-way, the number 1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. Matt Riddle, Tommaso Ciampa, Ricochet, and winner Chad Gable from Minneapolis. Great celebration afterwards with his kid. This was fantastic. Shinsuke Nakamura as well turned heel at the end of Raw, which was a moment in itself. But Nakamura's match with Bronson Reed, I thought, was really good, and the best match that they certainly had in their series. Worth checking out. And then the main event, of course, Judgment Day against Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Shinsuke Nakamura taking the place of Sami Zayn, who appears to be injured. Nakamura turned heel on Rollins to end the show. But a great cliffhanger way to end a fantastic Raw in Minneapolis that I was really bummed that I missed out being at live. Tuesday, the 8th of August, had yet 3 other matches to talk about. One, once again, from the G-1 Climax, Eddie Kingston and David Finlay. Really worth checking out for sure. Also from NXT, Axiom and Mustafa Ali hit. And Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee as the main event of NXT. I really enjoyed that one as well. And then we conclude this loaded week of must-see matches with another trio of matches on Wednesday, last night on August 9th. Another bout from the G1. This is the D Block final. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tetsuya Naito. Just a phenomenal match between these two. These guys have had tons of matches. It may not have been the best match, but it definitely was something coming on down the finish line for that match. Tanahashi was in a different mode, as well as Tetsuya Naito. Really, really hot last 5 minutes, particularly that match. And then Dynamite, there was a couple matches of note. Lucha Brothers and the BCC I thought was very, very good. And then I really enjoyed, from a nostalgia perspective, Rob Van Dam coming back against Jack Perry. I didn't feel like Van Dam had a whole lot of ring rust on him for not working very little matches that he has. I thought he looked pretty good out there. Jack Perry held his own as well. Solid match from Dynamite, as well as that Lucha Brothers and Blackpool Combat Club match additionally. And that covers the gamut. Taking a look back, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18. We had over 20 must-see matches this week. Oh, by the way, did I mention from last Friday's Rampage, the parking lot brawl between the Bullet Club, Blackpool Combat Club, and Best Friends? Because that was also fucking awesome. Oh man, I don't even know. This is one of those weeks where I don't even think I can pick like the best match of the bunch all week. Looking at this, there was so many this week. I'm gonna probably have to pick probably 3. 3 seems to be the magic number this week. So I am going to pick for the must-see matches of the week. First and foremost, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar from SummerSlam. I think CM Punk and Ricky Starks is another one. And then the final one out of the list. Boy, this is a really hard one. I am going to go... This is tough. It's a real tough one. I'm going to probably go Will Ospreay and ELP. But there was, everything on this list was really good. I think another close match that I'd put in the top 3 would have been that 4-way from Raw with Chad Gable winning. That was just all action. Really, really enjoyed that one. So take your pick. I'm going to say this week. You can take my suggestions on the list. Watch them all if you want to this week. I think it'd be worth it. It's one of those weeks where shit was just hitting, brother. Let me tell you. All right. Coming up next, retrospective this day in wrestling history. August 10th on your way. Coming up next, right here at Climax. Bye.